town meeting of the town of Woodbridge. First order of business is to select a moderator. And wondering if there are any.
I'd like to nominate Sue. Our goal is to serve as a 2-year term.
Second.
We take a vote. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I've been selected town moderator. I'm going to request that I entertain a motion for waiving the reading of the entire legal notice.
So moved.
Second. Second. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed?
This is what you should be taking a video of.
The full text of the resolution, are on file with the town and have been published in the Haven Register on December 28th, posted with the town on December 21st. I now have to count the number of people present, determine whether or not we have a quorum. And quorum requires 100 people. It appears we have 30 who've registered.
And 2 at the door, so 32 will be 32.
We do not have a quorum. And even though we don't have a quorum to allow this meeting to go forward as a legal basis to adopt the resolution, we're going to have a presentation by David Stein for the benefit of those people who are here.
Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is David Stein. I'm a principal with Silver Petroselli and Associates, here tonight to present you sort of 2 parts of a project that we've been working on with the Board of Education for the past few months. And then at the end, Tony Genovese has some slides that you could talk about, right, Tony? So great. So starting out with the roof replacement for Beecher Road. Actually, our firm, probably 23 years ago, did the portion just here of that portion of the roof that was done in about 2001. So what we are talking about now is we've reviewed the existing conditions of the roof that we have highlighted in red. There's sort of a 2-part portion here. Oh, thank you. Here, and here. The condition of the membrane is just simply past its overall useful life. There has been some leaking recently over the years, but it hasn't created an enormous amount of damage that we've seen through there. But it's typical when you do get to this part of a roof, especially with schools and the state's program, the Office of Grants Administration, expect that these roofs would be replaced on sort of over that 20-year plus lifespan. Any roofs that would be replaced earlier than that are sort of derated in terms of their reimbursement component of that. So what we are proposing to do, we've done some test cuts and determined that the majority of the existing substrate, the metal deck and so forth, is actually in pretty good shape. We don't see any significant damage or anything there. They're structurally, so anything that's sort of leaked on through is just sort of superficial. But our goal is to do a full roof replacement of the areas that we articulated. We would also be modifying some of the drainage components because over the years we've learned, and actually building code is required, that we've created a secondary drain system. So if the primary drains get clogged up, you could actually have a secondary pathway to alleviate that. And obviously with rains coming tomorrow, these are critical to have proper drainage through there. The mechanical units are going to stay in place. We're going to really just work around those and build some new drains. And this new roofing material will have a 20-year, it's called a non-prorated warranty. It's mandated by the state of Connecticut to have that. have that minimum piece. The material is going to be similar to what you do see up here as a membrane style roof. And the projected construction costs are about $1.4 million. And through that gets netted out when it gets reconciled with the state of Connecticut's Office of Grants Administration, in which we'll be filing for, if this does get approved, we'll be filing with the state for their reimbursement in the month of February, and then the intent is that we get this out to bid as soon as possible, get the roofer on board, and then start this summer with the intent of all this work being fully completed by the end of the summer and ready for the start of the academic year. The second portion of the project, dealing with drainage around the perimeter of the building, there has been fairly significant runoff and drainage that's happened over the years, just simply as a school and being used all around the building, students using all the pathways and so forth. A lot of this is sort of getting tampered down, and there really was never a significant drainage component built into the design of the school. So in conjunction with Fuss & O'Neill, who is our consulting engineering group, we've been working with them, and we've identified areas around the building, which you see up here, and I know it's not expected you'd be able to look at each one or read, but what this does is it outlines a variety of conditions along each doorway, each pathway, each in and out of the building to identify areas in which we think needs to be improved upon. What we've done is we've kind of created a good, better, best scenario with all of those to just kind of identify what would need to be done. But at the end of the day, our recommendation is this all should be done, because you can't really attack one corner without addressing the other corner of the building. And with that, we've sort of mapped out those areas around the building. Probably the most significant or the most costly one is a rework and repair of the main parking lot at the front entry of the building. That's sort of giving you the orientation of where we are. This is the front entry of the building. And these are different drainage pieces all around that we could simply improve upon by creating what we call either rain gardens or refunneling the water around to different areas. Will drastically improve or either slow down, just simply adding vegetation will slow down the pathway of water and reduce that long erosion that's creating in certain pathways. So that sophisticated construction techniques, ones that are sort of age proven, but if you sort of tackle these at those areas, you're going to make a significant improvement to just the longevity and better use of the space around the building. In addition to that, as it's related to just the roofing piece of it, there are some fairly mature trees that are close and overhanging those existing roof areas. That clogs up those roof drains with just pine needles, leaves, so forth. So our recommendation is to do some work just on a maintenance piece, or have qualified arborists come in and trim and cut back that vegetation that's positioned there. And with that, we're projecting somewhere between $1.1 and $1.5 million for that scope of work, looking at sort of a low to a high bid of work around the perimeter of the building. So with that, I can turn it over to you, Tony. Yep. Back to the mouth.
Thank you. I just want to take a few minutes to outline our existing debt service here in town. We have a number of projects we're currently paying down on, and they're all listed along the side here. Public Works facility, in 2014, there's a refinance of the feature roof from 2003, and the fire station construction, which was a refinance in 2015. That's in its last year of payment here in 2024. There's a feature renovation that was just done a few years back. That was done in 2 issuances, which are 2015 and 2016. In 2019, we did a simulcast radio upgrade. And finally, in 2021, we issued bonds for the purchase of the country club. Previous to that, those were notes, which were issued in 2009. So we paid down on notes for 10 years, a little over 10 years. And so in 2021, we converted those notes to bonds. So you see we have debt service in 2024 of a little over $2 million, and in 2025 it drops to $1.6 million. Some financing assumptions on this particular project is a total of a little over $3 million. This does not include possible grant funding. So these bond resolution amounts are a gross amount, particularly for the roof, is a gross amount. There could be reduced, ultimate borrowing would be reduced by any grant funds that the town receives. But if you borrow $3.2 million over a period of 20 years, approximately 4%, could be a little less, we would pay $1.3 million in interest and $4.6 million in total. Just some other notes I thought you might find interesting. Our current bonded debt as of 6/30/23 is $14 million. That were the projects that I indicated earlier. We are also responsible for our percentage of Amity's indebtedness. It's called overlapping debt. And in 2023, based on our percentage, it's calculated based on our percentage of our contribution to the Amity's budget. It's about $5.3 million. And so if you add the two together, we're at just about $20 million that the town is responsible for. Interestingly, I was looking back today, in 2013 when we did this, we were at $40 million. So over the past 10 years, we've paid down a significant amount of debt. A lot of that is also Amity, and while not incurring a lot of new debt, so I thought I'd make that point.
Well, since there is no quorum, in accordance with the town charter, these matters are turned over and scheduled on the agenda of the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance, and it requires a 2/3 vote of each of those boards to approve the expenditures. No other business coming forward? Yes?
Is there an opportunity for comments or questions?
Sure.
Amy Morella, 184 Rimmon Road. I just want to make a comment. I know that this funding has, particularly for the roof, has been a long time coming. And I just want to urge the new boards of selectmen members, especially since we have 4 or 6 new people on our board of selectmen, to continue to make Beecher a priority. I think it needs to be a priority both as a part of our physical plant and as a part of our capital funding. This means that things that might be nice need to be put aside and to be paid for the things that are needed. And in particular, my understanding is that there's considerable concern that Beecher may be outgrowing its current space. So looking at things like the center building for either temporary swing space or permanent moving of, I've heard K and 1 grades, needs to be looked at first. There's been too much siloing of our capital planning, and it needs to now be integrated with Beecher at the top. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
All right, I'd like to call our meeting to order. This is a meeting of the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen, specifically to consider the resolution, 2 resolutions that are on the table at this point in time. resolution appropriating $1,520,000 for the replacement roofs at Beecher Road School and authorizing the issue of $1,520,000 bonds and notes to finance the appropriation. And the second resolution is appropriating $1,750,000 for site improvements at Beecher Road School and authorizing the issue of $1,750,000 bonds and notes to finance that appropriation. I'd also like to mention that the full text of the resolution is on file and open to public inspection in the office of the town clerk. To that end, I would like to make a motion that we approve these resolutions. And is there a second?
Can I make a motion that we take them separately so we have separate votes?
Very well. Yes. Yes.
First question.
I'm sorry?
I'll move my first.
Second? This is for the $1,520,000 roof replacement for the roofs at Beecher. Is there any discussion?
I actually have a
Please.
question. So I heard in the presentation that the roof is structurally sound, the substrate is sound, but they're suggesting a complete replacement. Is there potential to help me understand why it requires a full replacement if the substrate is sound?
It's more or less, from my understanding, the structure underneath the roof is sound.
Okay.
So it's sound to put a roofing on top of it, similar to what shingles on your plywood on your house.
Thank you.
Is the way.
That's all.
Any other questions? We'll leave it to vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That resolution passes. The next resolution appropriating $1.75 million, $1.750 million. This is for the improvement at Beecher Road School related to the drainage. In regard to that, do I have a motion for this resolution? Second? Discussion. Vote. All those in favor of this resolution? Any opposed? Thank you. That completes our business for this special meeting. I'll call for adjournment of the meeting. Thank you. I'd also like to begin the meeting for the Board of Finance. These are the same resolutions, the first being for the $1,520,000 for the replacement roof at Beecher, and we will take these separately as we did here. First, I guess we have to open the meeting. We'll open the meeting. And so to that end, is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Resolution passes. And the second resolution appropriating $1,750,000 for site improvements at Beecher Road School.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? None opposed? Thank you. That is the full business for the Board of Finance, and I'll move to have this special meeting of the Board of Finance also.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. It is closed.